As LaMelo Ball reaches new heights, do we need to re-rank his place in Hornets history? That's today, Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. I'm Walker Mehl. Doug Branson is with us. He is the curator of everyhornetsboxscore.com, the Substack you should absolutely subscribe to. Evan Hale also helps us out. Go follow him on YouTube at Hailstorm Sports. That's his YouTube channel. We appreciate you for making us your first listen. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. We'll get to the LaMelo stuff in just a moment because he's reaching new heights. I got to work the top 35 Hornets of all time list. Does he have a permanent new place once we get to the top 40 Hornets of all time list? Once we start to celebrate the 40th anniversary.
So close.
Just a couple of years away, which means we will have done 3 official rankings, a part of Locked On Hornets. It's unbelievable. We need to talk about the Hornets of yesterday, though, who beat the Heat by 30 points. How fun was that episode for you to do? Just a solo recap, destroying the Heat. LaMelo brought the magic. How fun was that for you?
Oh, it was great. I mean, it's always better to do a show when they win than when they lose, but particularly when they beat the Heat, and particularly when they beat the Heat by 30. And I don't care that they didn't have Bam Adebayo. That was a fun second half. The Hornets figured out, they solved the puzzle. That was a puzzle-solving type of game. And I know that Charles Lee, after the game, had plenty to critique, and still they've got a lot to look at on film. I don't think they've fully gotten their groove back, but that was a puzzle-solving game, and I think an important game for their play-in, playoff hopes.
Yeah, I think the effort was there for sure. And while it might have been a little ugly in the first, 18 minutes of this game, the 40-point fourth quarter from the Hornets was nice. The 37-point third quarter from the Hornets was nice. And the fact that they held Miami to just 18 in the fourth quarter was nice. Also, what was it? Was it a 25-2 run? I mean, they were just obliterating Miami. They were pouring it in. It was fantastic to see the effort from Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate, who I thought did an excellent job on the glass. Both of those guys reached double digits. Moussa doing the classic Moose stuff, keeping the basketball alive for other people to eat. But what I tweeted out was LaMelo, he brought the magic in this game. We got to see some of that wizardry because he is a warlock. That was fantastic to see him hit the and one that he somehow, this is the amazing part of the wizardry, is the fact that he convinced the officials that he indeed was shooting. He got to the foul line. Not only was it the actual nothing but net incredible shot that he hit, but it's also convincing the officials that, no, we should get another point here. We should get an and one opportunity. So that was great. Also just deciding, you know what, I'm going full playground mode. There's no reason to do this. This is essentially the little kid that jumps up and touches the top of doorways as he walks through it. This is LaMelo playing on the court last night where there's nobody in front of him, and yet he decides to dribble between his legs and spin around a little bit. Did it serve as any function? Absolutely not. The only function was to have fun, and as soon as he spins around, he sees Khan wide open in the lane. So boom, fireball, Khan wide open.
Fireball.
Oh my God, he was fun, man. He was so special last night, and it was cool to see a special. And I will say, the game, as it always is, the game is functional. The special functional game from LaMelo to create a victory for the Hornets in a way where they desperately needed it too. Where finally teams are cooling off in this Eastern Conference play-in neighborhood. Only one team needs to cool off now, with the Hawks having won 10 straight. Please lose, Atlanta. Please. At least everybody else cooled off. And now the Hornets maybe starting to get back on the right track.
It's crazy. I'm just like scrolling through the replay of that and one now, which somehow there was so much. I mean, my brain was a little frazzled last night after that game. I don't even know if maybe I casually mentioned it, but I made a mistake in not paying enough attention because that play so rattled Eric Spolstra, who was so mad that they called that a shooting foul. Yeah,
it's his left hand.
He kept doing
it was in his left hand. What? What? It was in his left.
Oh, anything that makes Eric Spolstra that upset is going to be fine by me. But the way he gets up into the air and just sort of like hangs, like floats midair to get that shot off was incredible. The fact that after the game, he made sure to let everyone know adamantly, yes, I practiced that shot. Lamar Skeeter and we practice that shot, and I believe him.
Low key. He low key does it. He said that in the Shannon Spake interview.
And I will point out that you cannot spell functional without fun. Okay, you can't do it. I mean, look it up. That's a fact.
No, you're right. Checks out.
Okay, good.
Nice.
But yeah, he brought the sauce, and LaMelo. Well, here's the thing. I think what's cool is that he's bringing the sauce and having the fun, and also playing defense, and also not getting so wrapped up in what the officials are doing. Like he's putting all of those pieces together. I think sometimes we've seen serious LaMelo, and sometimes we've seen fun LaMelo. The ultimate, which I think is an all NBA version of LaMelo, which we saw last night, is one that is able to blend those two things together, the yin and the yang, to negotiate those two things at the same time. That's what's going to be the ultimate version of LaMelo. And man, like if we continue to see that, and this was my question that I didn't really have an answer to last night, was like, if we continue to see that, what does that mean when they get into a play-in game for their lives, if they get stuck in the 9-10 game? What does that mean if they ascend beyond that and get into a playoff series? I think you really have to start recalculating what the Hornets can achieve if LaMelo is going to play like that, because if you go back and look at the win streaks and all that they've accomplished in the year 2026, so much of that was accomplished with LaMelo on minutes restriction, with LaMelo being kind of a mixed, everybody was kind of doing their own part and scoring about 20 points, and no one was really, or different players on different nights were being a number one option. But if you're going to get the kind of LaMelo Ball that we've seen, win Rookie of the Year, be an all-star, go completely nuclear like he did at certain points last season, like, man, I mean, you got to start rethinking what the Hornets could do in a playoff series, I think.
It goes a little bit hand in hand with the field goal percentage discourse that was out there with LaMelo, because the thing is, he's not been very efficient from the field overall. Outside of his three-point shooting, we can discuss the metrics that point to the team benefiting from LaMelo's presence because he takes these extremely difficult shots, and the gravity that is just orbiting LaMelo at all times forces the defense to actually go out there on the one-legged 35-footers because he can hit that at a better rate than anybody else in the league. Who else takes those kinds of shots? Maybe Luka. Am I lying about that? I know LaMelo takes them. So this is where it's been kind of interesting to have that conversation. I asked Michael Pina, he wrote an article on The Ringer about the Hornets. The Hornets are wrecking the league, and that was really fun. So I asked him on Wes and Walker about the field goal percentage for LaMelo inside the three-point arc. Does it matter? Does it matter that he's not hitting twos, and how much does it matter? And it seemed to be that he cared about it more so in the playoffs, which I would tend to agree with to some extent. But this goes hand in hand with your conversation of, okay, can we rely on others to hit the twos? Brandon, not hitting the twos as much. LaMelo, better actually inside the three-point arc last night. But how much does it matter if he has his fingerprints all over everything else, that he's still shooting 40% from the field in the month of March? He shot 38.6% from the field in the month of February. He shot 40% from the field in January. So that's 3 months in a row where we're halfway through this one where it's hovering around 40, which isn't great, but he does all of the other stuff that allows you to succeed. And it's going to be fascinating to see, to further your point.
Well, there's no all-NBA version of LaMelo Ball, or even an all-star version of LaMelo Ball, that can't hit two-pointers at a better rate than he's been hitting them this season. But we started to see, not even just in this Miami game, but in the past couple of games, we've started to see LaMelo's floater get unlocked. I wonder if if he's giving up a little bit of this idea, like, I got to get to the free throw line more, maybe that's something that like he can work on in the offseason and continue to try to get into the film and get into the lab and see if he can unlock some of that like SGA dark magic, like whatever Luka does it too. Like can he? But mid-season, maybe he's just like, all right, I've just got to like focus on hitting this shot. We complained about this with Kemba Walker all the time. We said Kemba's seeking contact. He's trying to get a foul. He's not hitting the damn layup. And so I wonder if there's a little bit of that going on now with LaMelo saying, all right, forget it. I'm just going to go and play my game and try to hit my shot, because that's what he was able to do. In fact, he hit his 6,000th career points on a head fake, shot fake from the corner, and created the space enough to get the floater up over top of Khalil Ware instead of trying to like go through Khalil and get and force a foul and miss the shot. And look, if the refs aren't going to call it, eventually you just got to come to terms with it and say, forget it. I'm just going to go get my offense. And I thought that's what he did against Miami, and it could unlock something for the Charlotte Hornets, because last thing here for me, it does matter that he hits 2-pointers, because Brandon's not hitting them very well, because Miles has his issues at the rim. Like Khan is a good 2-point shooter, but you got to be able to do something inside the arc when teams take away your 3, and you can't have your 3 of your better players not be able to do it. It's important that one of those guys figure it out, and it looks like LaMelo is starting to.
Okay, coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
More LaMelo. Time for Rank Radio. Do we adjust the top 35 Hornets list all time because of what LaMelo just accomplished yesterday? We'll get to it coming up next, LOH. This episode is brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide in a live market. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps. Trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Even contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop, big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your parlay. You can mix in the spreads, the totals, the player props. Again, it's whatever you want at FanDuel. You are the master of your own domain. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with just more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. More Locked On Hornets ahead. I want to remind you of the Everydayers Club. Go to LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. You can join the Everydayer Club for just $5 a month, or you can sign up for the yearly option and save 17%. You get access to an ad-free audio feed for Locked On Hornets, compatible with Apple, Spotify, every major podcast app. You get an invite to the members-only Locked On Hornets group chat in the Everydayer Club Discord server that also features chats for national topics and all other Locked On shows, plus exclusive access to national bonus shows. LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. That's LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. Here's a pearl, baby. A Sam Pearly Pearl at Sam_Pearly. LaMelo is now the 6th player in Hornets franchise history to reach 6,000-plus career points, joining Kemba Walker, Del Curry, Miles Bridges, Gerald Wallace, and Larry Johnson. Some all-time Hornets lore. Hornets legends in there with where LaMelo is now on the all-time scoring list. So, Doug, you decided to go full rank radio. You sent me this tweet and you said, time to bring out the list. I know you love Rank Radio. So does everybody else. Do you remember where I had them ranked in the top 35 list?
I don't. I went to so on every Hornets box score, I have a Locked On Hornets hub, and it has some of our listicles. It has some of the things that we've done over time for people to go back and check out. And I realized I never filled. I think I've asked you for it multiple times. It's all right. You're a busy guy. You've got a lot going on. You're
I think
on
I
TV,
sent it to. No, I'm not. I'm
okay,
sure it's sent.
No.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
I don't know. I don't have it in my inbox. But so I need 11 through 1. So if you want to just run that down really quickly, there'll be a good way to kind of get into this thing. And then as you're going, I can type it in here to everyhornetsboxscore.com.
Okay, well, it's amazing you mentioned this because you know how I divvied it up into categories? The last category, in fact, was Doug gets mad at me because I had Jamal
12.
Because I had Jamal Mashburn 15th, and that's the reason why Doug gets mad at me. The next category, and it's just a one-player category, is everyone else gets mad at me.
Okay.
And that's where LaMelo Ball comes in. He's
at number 11. You had him 11?
I had him number 11.
That's 2 ones. He likes the number 1.
That is true. Also, this list came out how many years ago now? Is it 2.5? Is it 3 years ago?
I don't know. I am beginning to realize now that as much as I've made fun of the idea that we continue to celebrate anniversaries, it's now making me sad because I realize that I'm also getting older. It's like it's very close.
It's a rude awakening.
Yeah, I mean the Hornets, the birth of the Hornets came after my birth. So I'm just tracking. I'm making fun of my own demise.
Yeah, it's a rude awakening for sure. I apologize that you.
All right, everyone else gets mad at me.
Is just
LaMelo
LaMelo.
Number 11.
Is just LaMelo number 11. Number 10 through 8, I have the category listed as Top Cats.
Top Cats, good. Oh, because of Bobcats.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Al Jefferson, number 10.
Big Al.
Anthony Mason, number 9.
Mace.
Gerald Wallace.
He was a big guy, for sure.
Yeah, Big Cat is what we should have named it. And Gerald Wallace, number 8, which seems low to people until you start to talk about the other names on this list. And here I have the OG, in parentheses, UARDS, OG guards, if you will. Number 7, Baron Davis. Number 6, I have Glenn Rice. And here's where, remember when Del Curry, it was revealed that his jersey was going to be retired, and we did not do so officially, but we talked about changing the rankings then. How, hey, he's going to have his jersey in the rafters. That's something. So I moved Del Curry up the list. Okay. So I think the new 5 is now Muggsy Bogues.
Wow.
Although I think I should move him up too. Can I change it again? Yeah, I don't know.
Are you going to drop?
I think here's where I think 5. I think Zoe goes 5.
Wow.
I know.
Zoe not on that 6,000 point list.
Yeah, that's right. So Alonzo Mourning goes 5. I think Larry Johnson goes 4. I think Muggsy Bogues goes 3. I think Del Curry goes 2.
Wow.
And that's the end of the list for the OG parentheses guards. And then King Kemba is the last one where Kemba Walker comes in as the number 1 Hornet of all time. So there's the list, right?
Yeah, finally. I've been asking for it for months. And
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we don't have the sounder anymore. I got to get that back. But we haven't done rank radio as much as we used to. We've matured. As the years have gone on, we've matured a little bit as a show.
As the Hornets have matured, kind of, at least here, this year, they've matured.
I'll say I agree with moving Alonzo down because I think as these records continue to get broken and you're seeing players, particularly these young players, stay with the Hornets a lot longer, I think you have to reframe what you think about Alonzo Mourning. But as we get into this conversation about LaMelo Ball, what I think will keep Alonzo and Baron and Glenn as kind of a barrier, Baron, the barrier, is the idea that they had playoff series victories that they were a big part of, a massive part of. And I think that's when whenever we talk about LaMelo and the stats that he's piling up, I'm not taking anything away from the stats. I'm not going to go to that place of saying, well, LaMelo plays in a different era. It's faster paced, so these stats accumulate, the stuff that we always kind of discredit Russell Westbrook's MVPs and his triple-double seasons and Jokic's triple-doubles. Like sometimes people like to use that and disparage them in some way. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to say, like, for LaMelo to ascend, I think we can move him up a few places, but I don't think he can get past Barron at 7 for me until you got to get to if he got to 3 playoff series and the Hornets, because of the team construction, were not able to get past those playoff series, I could start to form an argument to move him beyond some of these guys. But look, if he wins 1 playoff series, automatically he just shoots up the list.
Well, yeah, so where is he right now if we wanted to amend it? He's at 11 right now. I'd put him ahead of Al Jefferson. I'd move him above Big Al. I think there's now a time where Al, I know it's the Hornets history. I know anytime we do this, people make the joke, well, that's not a very high bar. We drink at the low bar, people. That's live right here. I got a tent out back. I live at the low bar. You ain't got to tell me how low the bar is with Hornets history. Al Jefferson made an All-NBA team. It's a big deal. He's the biggest free agent signing in Hornets/Bobcats history. Mm-hmm. Monetarily, that is only bested by Gordon Hayward. I think Gordon Hayward, excuse me. You have, I think, Bobby Phills, David Wesley were free agent signings. Like, the free agent signings actually aren't the big acquisition channel. It's the trade market that served as the big acquisition channel. So anyways, all those points are true about Al. I think I would move LaMelo. I love Al. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Longevity, all of it. I think I'd move LaMelo above him. I'll be honest, though, man. Right now, it might be tough to move him ahead of Anthony Mason. Anthony Mason is a top 10 MVP candidate one of the years that he played here. Mm-hmm. That's an All-NBA performer as well, alongside Glenn Rice. Remember, he played all the minutes. He's a part of a 54-win team with that core, which is the most wins that anybody's ever put up. So if we just wanted to stop there to not focus on this list overall, LaMelo above Al, which has to change the category a little bit. It can't be top cats anymore. But LaMelo goes above Al. I think he's top 10, though. And maybe that's significant enough. Maybe he immediately becomes a top 10 player with what we've seen the last couple of years and what he's doing now. And if we just continue to see this Hornets team with him as still the best player, then now we can start to talk about a playoff series win. It's like, okay, now you're passing Mace, you're passing Diddy. Because remember, Diddy only was here for like 3 years before they went to New Orleans, and we don't count the New Orleans stuff.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. So now, it feels like once they start doing the playoff thing, Doug, he just starts taking over these spots pretty quickly, in my opinion.
Oh, yes. I'm in total agreement there. I think it's cool to move him beyond 10. I would even
Mason Gerald. I don't think you can. Gerald meant a lot, dude. With the playoff stuff, you're right. They got to
that's it. Well, that's it. The playoff series.
Yeah.
Multiple playoff series appearances or a playoff series victory, I think immediately puts him at 8. And then in my opinion, it's going to take a little bit more to get over Barron. Because look, I understand the argument about Barron not being here. That wasn't his fault. That was George Shin's fault. That was really Ray Wooldridge's fault. That was the entire NBA's fault. But at the same time, there were playoff series victories the Hornets were a threat with Baron Davis as the 1A option with Jamal Mashburn. The Hornets were a threat to be an Eastern Conference Finals team. Like that, I refuse to let younger fans or maybe some older fans that are just joining back, I refuse to let any of us forget that. And so LaMelo must get it. And you'll say, well, Kemba never won a playoff series. Okay, you're right. If LaMelo breaks every single franchise record, basically, then yes, he gets to skip the line like Kemba got to skip the line because Kemba was here forever, gave everything that he had, got way better as a player, stayed way better as a player, played a ton of games, played a ton of minutes, and scored the most points in franchise history. If LaMelo does all that, fine. We can have that conversation. But just in the next couple of years, we need to see playoff success for him to really get into the top 5 discussion of all time.
Well, and I guess that's another way to look at it, because that's the route nobody wants to take. But that is a route available to LaMelo if they really don't capitalize on this postseason success. 1, kill me now. 2, LaMelo is going to put up a bunch of stats as long as he's in a Hornets uniform. And if he just passes all of these franchise records, I mean, yeah, because that's how Kemba did it. He had the one playoff series where he led the squad to a 7-game series against Miami. We all know the story behind that, but that's the most success that he had, and he's beloved. And part of this goes beyond what you do on the court. But guess what? LaMelo checks that box because of how popular he is. I mean, there is, speaking of gravity, it's not only on the court that he has it. There is a gravitational pull to a mass of NBA fans that he has surrounding him off of the court as well, and that has to be factored into this, on top of him just unlocking, being the cup for the drink, not the straw that stirs it, but the cup that holds it together, all that stuff, man. Yeah, like it's picking up. He's only 25. Yeah, that's dude, he's only 25.
It was in his left hand. It was in his left hand.
It's right there.
Eric
Coming up next. On the, you want more Spo hate? You want to let out some more?
A
Spo
little
hate
Myron Gardner hate, a little Tyler Hero hate. I mean, gosh,
right.
I wish that, man. What I wouldn't give for just like one more Heat game.
All right, coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere.
We'll give you some of the hate, I guess, regarding the Heat. We got to do an Eastern Conference standings check-in as well with some of these teams cooling off. That's still to come, LOH. This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Sponsored Jobs. Indeed, Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this pod. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. More Locked On Hornets ahead. What you got?
Teacher, I've got a pitch for you because we've reconfigured this, and you had all of these sort of signifiers of different numbers, top cats. You just said we've got to kind of reconfigure this thing. So I've got a pitch because OG guards can stay. That's what, 7 through.
That's 7 through 2.
7 through 2. And then King Kemba is number 1. Gotcha.
Yep.
So I think those can stay because we haven't really made any changes there. You did raise Del Curry up, but I don't think that makes a difference for OG guards.
No, it doesn't.
So 11 through 8, we've got Al Jefferson, LaMelo Ball at 10, Anthony Mason at 9, Gerald Wallace at 8. Here's my pitch. You've got Big Al, you've got LaMelo Ball, big baller brands.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move it. Let's move.
And
move
like
it
big
right
baller brands, some of these guys fell apart a little bit.
Move it right on in. Sorry to Al. Look, you were incredible, man. Al Jefferson was absolutely phenomenal, but LaMelo Ball has been here long enough, has provided enough of an impact to where LaMelo is a top 10 Hornet all time, which is an accomplishment. We assign meaning to this number, and I think rightfully so. He is a top 10 Hornet ever.
I mean, this is a topic for a different show, but I mean, your first category is Hornets scoring it.
Yeah, I love
35 it. 35 the Hammer, Armin Gilliam, Cody Zeller, Gordon Hayward, Jason Richardson, Terry Rozier. I mean, Con Knippel.
Oh, we got look, that is, you're right.
I mean, is he already? I mean, this is a low bar, folks. Just understand it's a low bar, but is Con Knippel already tickling the Hornets scoring it, scored it category.
I mean, if you're a rookie of the year, you shoot up a decent amount. If you're Brandon Miller, like who do you think provided more of an impact after this season? And plus the Terry Rozier stuff, do we bump him down a little bit with all of the Terry stuff now? It's going to take some real brain power.
He scored a lot of points.
Look, man, it's going to take, and he shaved a lot too. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Allegedly.
This is all alleged. It's not actual factual. It's all alleged. I need to make sure that I'm addressing this in my own personal rankings as well. It is right. Yep, it is written in stone. LaMelo is 10, Del Curry is 2, Muggsy 3, LJ 4, Zoe 5.
This is important stuff, folks.
The Zoe stuff I always felt bad about because I think the Zoe ranking, well, no, I put him 2 and 3. I think I moved LJ 2. Mm-hmm. All right. 30 rankings, I had Zoe number 2. 35 rankings, I had LJ 2, Zoe 3. Yeah. But what I keep adjusting is just how frustrated people were with Alonzo at that time. And so that's why I feel like the more we go on, the more Dell, every single second that he's in the Hornets limelight and an ambassador of the team, every second Muggsy is that way. I think that's why Zoe continues to fall back a little bit at number 5, just because, one, we don't see him in the Queen City. He's not that ambassador for the franchise like Dell and Muggsy are. Muggsy is on with Kyle Bailey an hour ago talking about Del Curry having his jersey hung in the rafters, and guess what? There's a possibility Muggsy's jersey is up there one day, too, if this ownership group really cares about that sort of thing, and they're demonstrating that they do. Yeah, so anyways.
That's crazy. Well, here's an interesting thing is, like, if it's LaMelo, if it's Con, if it's Brandon, if it's anyone that can deliver a Zoe type of moment, like Zoe's shot to beat the Celtics.
Huge moment.
If they can deliver that moment to win a series in a game 7 or whatever, an elimination game, does that move Zoe down? Because again, what's keeping Zoe up is his, being drafted high, his the dominant stats.
And to be clear, let's emphasize that for 3 seconds. Dominant stats. His first 3. He was insane. Let's just get that clear.
But also that moment. I mean, that it used to be in our intro. The Steve Martin call was in our intro for years. People can hear it in their heads. That moment. So, but that moment is so indelible in part because of the low bar, because of it exists on its own because we don't have many of those other moments. I mean, even in the playoff series that they won the rest of the way, certainly, we can dig back into the archives and find great games and great performances, but moments, singular moments, that stands out. So if we have one of those from LaMelo or even like a special, 50 burger in a playoff game, like, those are the kinds of things that I think can continue to knock Zoe down off the list and move guys like LaMelo and others onto it.
Yeah, like Zoe is the one where it feels like a bad taste because of how bad it ended. And he considers himself a Miami guy. Like that's the thing too, is he considers himself a Heat member.
You said frustrated with Zoe. Who's really frustrated with Zoe, or was last night at least? Diabate was whipping the Zoe jersey with a belt, or maybe, I don't know if he was miming it or if he was actually doing it. But yeah, Diabate, one of the biggest Charlotte Hornets celebrity fans, was taking it to a Zoe Miami jersey.
Okay, that is correct. Evan Hale had that video out there. Producer of Locked On Hornets put that video out. If you want to go follow him at, I think it's The Real Evan Hale. Mm-hmm. Eastern Conference standings check-in.
Okay.
To talk about the current state of the Hornets just briefly here. Look, as I mentioned in the tweet, I think, what was it I tweeted? It was LaMelo brought the magic. Kobe White brought the physicality, thought he was great, just for some finishing thoughts there. But everybody's finally cooling off a little bit except for the Hawks here, Doug. So Orlando loses 2 games in a row. Miami, with that loss last night to Charlotte, they've lost 2 games in a row. Philadelphia lost 1. They're 4-6 in their last 10. That was not really one of the hot teams anyway in this neighborhood. But the Hawks, they're number 8. They've won 10. and it doesn't really matter the level of competition. They took care of all of it. So they've won 10 in a row. They're 37-31. The Hornets are 2.5 games back of that 8 spot, which would give them an in and a win and in scenario. Even if they do have to play on the road in that game, they would at least play a home game if they lost, and they wouldn't have to worry about it if they just outright got to a playoff series. But here's where we are. Hornets 10 seed, 2 games back of Philly at 9, 2.5 games back of Atlanta at 8, 3 games back of Miami at 7, and if you are so bold enough to pass that line, Orlando, they are 3.5 games back at 6. Toronto, they're right back up at 5. And the Hornets are 4 games back of the Raptors in that 5 spot. What's the dream here still? Is it still play in, win and end scenario? And if it takes 1 extra game, that's okay. What's the goal here after we've reassessed some things?
Yeah, so what, they're 3.5 games back of outright playoff spot with 12 games to go. I think that's probably too big of a road to hoe, although, you never know. But with so many teams being bad, I mean, you got the Bucks now. This is like breaking as of like an hour ago. They want Giannis to sit down and stay down, and he won't do it. So, but so many teams explicitly trying to be bad. It makes it very, and this is my whole argument against outright tanking or how many teams are tanking. Like, it's okay to be bad, but the degree of bad has reached a point at which it makes some of this stuff meaningless. It makes March basketball even more silly, April basketball even more silly, and it makes it difficult for teams like the Hornets to actually like legitimately have a shot to move up the standings, because so many teams are just like getting opportunities to crush all these Bulls and Nets and Wizards and Pacers and Kings every night. Sure, the Hornets have some of those opportunities too, but yeah, I just don't like it. Anyway, I'm a little scared of the 76ers in that they are a little bit of a sleeping, potentially giant with Embiid's injury history, and the injuries have kept him out lately. You've got the Paul George suspension. I just feel like there's this nightmare that I have in my head of the 9-10 game being, which is currently would be if the season ended now. 76ers Hornets, Embiid comes back. He's okay. George back. I don't even know if that's a possibility in a play-in scenario. I'd have to count the games. But if he could come back, and then Maxey and Edgecombe, and just like that's a scary thought in my head. Like I'd give them, even though the Hawks are on a crazy winning streak right now, I'd give them a better shot to beat the Hawks, the Heat, even the Magic, but we'll find out Thursday how they stack up against the Magic.
Yeah, Orlando Thursday, you get that win, you set yourself up nicely. Memphis, Sacramento, that could be a 4-game winning streak, especially with so many home games left. You got 6 more on the 7-game homestand starting last night with that Miami contest. And then New York, if you somehow survive New York, you got Philly, which kind of counts as 2 in a way because you're needing them to lose and you win a game, so that helps you out. They've set themselves up nicely getting this victory against Miami. You got one more hurdle to clear before maybe the field levels out for the next 2 games with 2 bottom-dwelling teams. That'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your pods. That includes YouTube, Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com, Evan Hale, Hailstorm Sports on YouTube, and I'm Walker Mehl. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Real quickly, if we get this episode up in time, or in case you need to go back and catch it, I do have a sit-down interview with Del Curry that we're airing on WFNZ March 18th today at 6 o'clock. It'll be 6 to 7. We're calling it 60 for 30. 60 minutes for 30, like that. There you go.
I do.
A 60 for 30. A salute to Del Curry having his jersey retired, hung in the rafters, wherever the Hornets will be playing, but especially here in the Spectrum Center. And it's one of my favorite things I've ever done, sitting down with Del.
Wow.
About 20 minutes. Yeah, man, this was really cool. We got to a lot of stuff. We got to a lot of history. We got to how crazy it is that the fact that he was on the trade block every year, the fact that he still stayed somehow, some way with the Hornets enough to be the second best Hornet of all time. Possibly first, depending on who you ask. Might be my favorite thing I've ever done. It really means a lot. So go check it out. We'll put that up on our website as well, WFNZ.com. We'll tweet it out, all that good stuff. Okay, have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
Get out of here, Eric Spolstra.